This episode brought to you by Canada, eh?
Hey, how's it going there?
God.
Coming up on the show, as always, we have your qualifier leaderboard update, an exclusive interview with Drew Baldock, and the ultimate showdown. All that and more starts right now. We're bucking around live on Twitch.
Can't believe you did that. Welcome back to Buckin' Around, everybody, your one-stop shop for everything buck hunters need to know. I'm Callum Fletcher, joined as always by Mike Colesworthy.
So,
Over in the production blind, we have David Gonzalez.
How's it going, guys?
And our social media manager, Jess Petro, is joining us in the chat. How you doing, Jess?
Hey, everyone.
All right, and last time on the show, Mike got a little practice in some some bonus games.
bonus, yeah, and I'm proud to say I got a little bit better.
A little bit. And we did a little Q&A about our trip to Austin and the venue, the Belmont, for this year's World Championship. Yesterday we had Drew Baldock on the show. I'm getting that name better and better every time.
Yeah, it's Baldock.
Baldock. Okay.
Baldock.
So I had Drew on the show. We got to do some interviews and some showdowns with him. But before we get into that, let's dive into this week's numbers for the qualifiers.
Shall we? Yes, we shall. All right. Last week, when we came to you, we had 2,226 individual hunters who all wanted a piece of that World Championship glory. This week, Callum, I'm happy to say, we've grown to 2,416. That is a difference of 190 people.
I don't know. Did we get it right?
Yeah.
Did we
Yeah,
get that?
very
Was
sure.
that
Did we
timed
actually
perfectly?
pull that off?
I'm pretty
All
sure,
right.
yeah. It was good.
Guys, let us know at home. If it didn't, it's going to look kind of awkward. Just all of us like staring, just like,
It just didn't happen.
you don't say. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mike, why don't we just go into those leaderboards and just start right off the bat?
Yeah, shall we? Let's dive right into our American main leaderboard. These are our skill-based qualifiers. Ryan Hodgson.
But we've got climbing all over the place. Andrew Moskowitz, Chris Axberger, is that Patrick Heelan?
Yeah.
That's Patrick Heelan, and Mike Ridings, and Scott. Literally everyone from 2nd to 5th, 2nd to 8th, 2nd to 9th have moved up.
Yep, shifting upward. There's a lot of activity happening. Of course, in between shows here, we have introduced Moose.
That's right.
So we have the third of our 5 qualifier tournaments now running. So there's been a lot of activity on the boards, as some people maybe haven't got a chance to play it yet. Other people are, taking advantage of it being available. It's an exciting time.
And taking advantage of it not being whitetail.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whitetail was tough times for some people.
Anyway, over the last few shows, something we've talked about, Travis Pastrana and company moving up the leaderboards in the wild card.
Yes.
You pointed something out to me that I didn't even realize until you did. So why don't you take it away? I don't want to take the credit for that one.
Yeah, last week we were excited because Travis Pastrana and his boy Steve St. Arnold had made their presence known on the wild card leaderboards. This week they have exploded onto the main leaderboard. These guys are serious. I think Nitro Circus is coming to the World Championship.
It's looking more and more like it. At first,
Yeah.
with the wild card, maybe they're just playing. Could be just here and there.
I don't think there's going to be any sick dirt bike jumps, but
Going over the building? No promises.
Yeah.
Yeah, no promises. But with that, as we said, so Travis Pastrana, Steve St. Armand, Nitro Circus.
Yes.
World Championship possibilities. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see them back. The last couple years, they haven't been able to join us because they've been so busy on their tour, but it just so happens to work out this year, which is very cool. So moving on to the wild cards for America, what do we got here?
Tons of action, and I love this week because these leaderboards are crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what some of these names mean, like Jub on tour, but nonetheless, Steve Herring coming in on number 1 with Mike Forrest losing a spot, dropping down to 2nd. That's plenty of time. There's nothing for these guys to worry about. They've still got till early October to get their qualifying rounds in.
That's right. And
But-
I'll tell you exactly what Jub on tour means. It means that Jubilee Saranillo has disregarded all of the praise that we gave her for changing her name to her real one and is just trolling us.
And said, screw it all to
She's
hell.
on-
I'm going back to Jub.
She's on some kind of summer road trip playing at different locations and stuff and got all excited and changed her name back to Jub.
You know what? Jub, if you are on tour and you are coming through the Chicago area, and this is an extended invite to really any of the big buck hunters who are qualifying, fanatical players. If you guys find yourselves in the area of Chicago, give us a shout. We will be more than glad to have you guys come by the studio. We'll give you a tour. We'll play some showdowns. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I think as we hope Drew and Lauren learned, we are gracious hosts.
Hopefully they're gracious hosts. But anyway, back to the leaderboards. We've got Timothy O'Malley scooting up to number 3. I'm seeing so much of this upward shift, and I think it is because Moose came out. But in all of the leaderboards, you see that whole top 8 kind of shifting up, and everyone who was in it who had taken advantage of Whitetail kind of shifting down. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, as these kind of more diverse qualifier tournaments come out, you get to sort of see how the specialties that people have play a role on their scores.
That's right. And so we're going to let you guys take a look at this one. It'll be online later on, but for now we are going to switch it up. We're going to head over to Australia, the land down under. Oh, God.
I can't do this.
So minorly
I might be able to give you like an accent, but not a song. Okay, so Glenn Rattray still leading the pack in Australia. Good on you, Glenn. With Renee Brooks coming in at second, Mick Hassler still at third. And again, with that upward momentum, we've got 4th, 5th, and 6th have all gained places, while everyone else seems to kind of stagnate. Yeah.
And there's not many down arrows from 7. Well, there's no down arrows from 7 to 16. So everyone who was in 4th through 6th must have gone down to like 15th to 20th.
Yeah, we got a little bit worried that our Australia players were just like, chilling out too much or something and not playing enough big buck. But there's more activity this week, which tells me that, the excitement is growing for the Australian Championship.
That's right. And with Glenn Rattray securing that main leaderboard in Australia for skill so far, and keep in mind, till October, we have Renee Brooks taking over that wild card. And I know she is incredibly determined to make it this year. We've already got Courtney and Mark Santander qualified and ready to come, so we're looking for those 2 other players. Wildcard's not as much movement.
No, I think we saw the addition of 1 new player, but yeah, for the most part, the wild cards are holding firm, and a couple little switching places and things like that, but nothing too dramatic.
And you're gonna hate me for saying this, Mike, because I know you're the one that colors these names, but I really do miss Sean Chadwick's clever names.
Chaw
in Order, come on.
Chaw in Order
Chaw in Order is brilliant. That's brilliant.
Kudu Hallis, though, I still can't figure out if that's a real name or not.
All right. Well, anyway, while we're trying to figure out these phony names, fake names, whatever it may be, let's check out Canada.
Yeah, let's hop over to our sponsor land. Drew Baldock. I'm sorry, Baldock. I'll get it right.
Come on, man.
Drew Baldock. Leading the pack in Canada. Of course, that was a big topic of discussion. You'll get a chance to see what we had to ask him about that very shortly. But lots of activity here. People switching places.
It's tough because there's so much I want to say about the Canadian leaderboard and the players that were asked and talked about in that interview. So you can't, just hold tight about 5 minutes, guys. We're going to be getting into the interview with Drew, which will answer and really just tell you guys a lot about the players up there.
Yeah. So should we move right along to the ladies' tourney, Callum?
No movement through the top 6?
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, the ladies' tourney leaderboard. I think we are seeing the sort of the Wonder Women of the ladies' tourney really holding on to their ranks here, and they're all playing, but they seem locked.
Not only so this top 24, and I know it's not 24 qualifier spots, but this top 24 is stacked. Mm-hmm. If I were a lady competing in this tournament, this top 10 would scare me.
I mean, I'm a man and it scares me. It's not that I have to compete, but I'm no Tom Martin. But
I knew that was going to come out somewhere. Is he on here? Do we see him? Maybe in the wild cards?
Maybe in the wild cards. Yeah, Melinda Van Humison is definitely not letting anybody take first place from her again, like happened, was that a week or 2 ago, something like that?
A little bit ago, but you know what I'm noticing is Samantha Interiari gets out. She doesn't get out as much as she used to go and hunt because of little baby Frankie.
Yeah.
So she has these like spurts where she goes in and she just kicks ass and takes names.
Yep.
And then she falls off a little bit and then she goes back in.
Yep.
So one of these weeks I'm expecting to see Samantha Interiari coming back to that first place spot, but of course Lindsay Garver, Homeland, Texas.
Yep.
There's no way she couldn't take it either.
She's got home field advantage, yep.
But while we're on the topic, there's some other big names in this list that have slipped down the ranks. Jub. Christina Eddy, Julia Wilmot. All of these players have been in the top 12, I think, in this qualifier, and are all slipping down to that bottom end. And it's probably just the fact they haven't got out and played much recently.
Or, maybe they're putting scores up in the main leaderboard too.
Ooh, that's actually a good point. But a little bit off topic of the main leaderboard, let's check out the ladies' wild card. Rhonda Doyle sitting in at number 1.
Yeah, Rhonda Doyle makes a big move and dethrones Shirley Ann McMurtry this week.
Now, pardon me, Rhonda, but that's not a name I'm familiar with.
Rhonda Doyle, I believe, is a new name this year. Rhonda, if you're out there and offended, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I think Rhonda is a new name. And, that's what I like to see on all of these leaderboards, really, Callum. It's just, we've got an influx of new players who are discovering the World Championship is available to them and are really capitalizing on it. So whether it's the World Championship or the ladies' tourney, people are getting involved this year, which is awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? Most importantly, Tom Martin. Slipping down a little bit, sliding down to 23. He's slowly edging down, so ladies, keep kicking ass and taking names, and most importantly, take his.
Yeah, Tom Martin maybe got the message. I don't know. Tom Martin, I'm going to be interested to meet you if you show up, buddy. I'm going to have some questions.
And last on the boards, we are going to jump over to our global top 50. Of course, this is something we initiated a few weeks ago in which we basically take the leaderboards of every country playing Big Buck, throw them all together, and see where you guys stack up.
Yep.
Australia putting up a hell of a performance throughout this. I'd actually say there's a pretty good balance between AU and US, but Miracle Man Ryan Hodgson taking in number 1 yet again.
Yep, the Miracle Man. I think that's a pretty good nickname. Yeah, I mean, as you said, Callum, Australia is making their presence known this week. You guys in the chat can let me know if this is something you'd be interested to see, but I was actually thinking about adding another feature to the global top 50 where we have just like a total count of how many representatives from a given country are on the board.
I think that's awesome. That's the first time I've heard of that, and I think that's cool. I would love to see that.
It's something I'm thinking about. If you guys would be interested to see that and just kind of have this ongoing war of the countries.
Of how many have been in the top?
A world war, Big Buck.
No, I think that's awesome. That'd be really cool. I would be very interested to see how many AU players, how many CA players, and obviously you can go in and count, but what better way to do it than just look at a couple numbers on a web show that you don't have to really do much for?
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't have to do much for. We can do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jess, with that, and I know Mike just threw the suggestion to the chat, is there anything going on in the chat before we move on?
Yeah, hey, the biggest question right now happened at the beginning. I was gonna interject, but I decided not to. What beer are you guys drinking?
Yeah. Well, because Canada is our sponsor today, and you know what? Honestly, we can't give all the credit to Canada. We have to give the credit to Drew Baldock for bringing us these Canadian delicacies. Bringing some beer from the homeland for us to sample. Luckily, he was able to find both of these at the duty free.
Yeah, right.
And get them across the border. So,
and it's actually kind of cool. I mean, this is I think what he compared to your Miller Lite.
Yeah,
and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta say we've been enjoying them for the past couple days. So again, thank you very much, Drew. And I gotta say, Canada, I'm a big fan of your food and beverage.
Food and beverage.
We're going to touch on that a little bit more later, too. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yesterday Drew and Lauren came by the office, and we had a lot of fun with them, but why didn't you take it from here?
Yeah. So, as you said, we had special guests yesterday. This was a unique opportunity for us to host a player for the first time on set. So, without further ado, I think we should throw it over to Mike and Callum and get the scoop. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Mike, Callum, take it away. Thanks, Mike. We're here with a very special interview with our current Canadian qualifier frontrunner, Drew Baldock. How's it going, Drew?
Good, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. So where are you from, Drew?
Regina, Saskatchewan, which is just north of Montana, for those that don't know.
And what's bringing you to play mechanics? Really just what's bringing you to the United States? What are you doing here?
Buck hunter? No. No, we were driving through to Ontario for my buddy's wedding and made a trip of it. So.
And you told us earlier, explain those road things for everyone at home, because I just...
yeah, if you actually Google map Regina, Saskatchewan to Mississauga, Ontario, it doesn't think that the #1 highway through Canada is a viable option. It actually tells you to go through the States. So here we are. Plus, there's more stuff to do, Minneapolis.
That's fair.
Chicago.
Yeah. A lot of nothing in Canada. Good scenery, though.
We dodged Detroit.
Dodge
Dodge.
Detroit.
Not blaming you.
No offense, Detroit. Hey,
It's not hockey season, otherwise we'll be
yeah.
on there.
That's true. That's true. So, when and how did you get into Big Buck?
I guess the first time we had it in our student lounge when I was in university, like
cool.
the original Buck Hunter one. So
Wow.
What were you studying?
engineering.
Engineering. Okay. Now, this is more of a more in tune with the Big Buck questions. Who do you consider your Big Buck rival?
I guess Dogger Wolk.
Dogger.
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 Which I only
Arch.
recently met.
Yeah, and you explained that story to us earlier. Why
Yeah,
don't
it's
you
a cool story.
Yeah.
tell everyone at home
So we play out of the same venue, Boston Pizza South in Regina, and
before you continue? That's what BP South means.
yeah, Boston Pizza.
Boston
Boston
Pizza.
Pizza. I've been
Boston
wondering that since we started doing the show.
Sorry. Continue.
So yeah, like I guess he must have played a lot there, but we never ran into each other. Everyone else that plays there, we're all kind of friends. And when this qualifier first came up, I thought, oh, maybe if I put up 1 million points, that'll scare people away and they won't try. And sure enough, next week, this Dogger Wolk, second place, or beats me by 100,000 points, 1,000,000.1. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
So we asked the manager and showed him a picture because I creeped him out on Facebook to find out who he was. And
didn't hear
she's like,
that
oh
part.
yeah, this guy comes at lunch, usually on Thursday. So took Thursday afternoon off, just sat there and waited for him to come in. Sure enough, looks just like his Facebook profile picture. He walks in, I'm like, Mr. Wolk, I presume? And he's like, Baldock. So then we discussed how we were going to do this qualifier thing, or if it was just going to be a shootout to the end.
And what'd you decide on? Shootout to the end?
Well, first it was go up to 2 million and hold there, but that didn't really stick because I think we're well past that.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. If we kind of made an agreement that we might have our own mini tournament if we both really want to go by November.
That's some good competition, though. That's
Yeah.
probably better competition than most players up in Canada are getting right now.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know anybody else, any of the other players from Canada, other than the ones that play it in Regina. So.
And you've got 3 others at the bar apart from Dogger, correct?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, since you're not aware of most of the other Canadian players, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Who would you say are Canada's top hunters? I mean, I guess it's got to be you and Dogger and whoever else you're familiar with.
I always thought, and still probably think, it's this guy that goes by Rob Frost out of
Rob Frost.
Aurelia, Ontario. And we actually stopped there yesterday just to check it out.
Yeah.
And
Was he around?
no, but he has the most points of anyone in Canada, and he almost always has the Hunter Heroes, and often has like the Trek records. And the guy's been playing forever. He was the top-ranked guy in Canada forever.
And we don't see him qualifying, if I'm not mistaken.
Because it's not on that game.
it's
Yeah.
not on
His
his
game
game.
is outdated.
Yeah. Frost, we're looking at you, man. Talk to
Yeah.
your operator.
Yeah, I don't think that's his real name.
Rob Frost does sound like a cool. That would be a cool name, though.
Yeah.
You can't.
The road not taken.
But
yeah. Author, Robert Frost.
anyway,
Yeah.
so we spoke super loosely about the other players at your bar. Are you guys all friends? Is there a friendly rivalry? Do you hate every one of them insanely?
No, they're all close friends.
Okay, so you guys all go out and shoot together regularly, or?
All the time.
It's bonding over the qualifier. That's cool. So is this your first qualifier then?
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was open to Canadians until this year, and it just showed up on our game and started playing.
And that's how you heard about the World Championship, I
Yeah.
assume? You just kind of
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing. Well, I kind of knew it was a thing in the States, but I didn't know it was something you
up
could
north.
qualify for in Canada.
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Surprise.
So those in-game ads do work.
They
Yes.
do. They do work.
Can you talk a little bit about your training, qualifying regimen, rituals, things like that?
Yeah, I get thirsty, go to BP South,
Get
a
thirsty.
beer.
Step 1.
and play Buck Hunter.
Okay, well that kind of leads into the next question. Everyone that competes at the World Championship has this like buzz, the big buck buzz, if you will.
Yeah.
How they prefer to play, whether or not they're completely drunk or inebriated, or if they're on energy drinks and candy.
Yeah.
What's your big buck buzz?
Yeah, we call it the bubble.
The bubble.
It's usually, halfway through your second schooner until the end of the third, and you might get a fourth in there, and then it starts to pop.
So, and then as soon as it pops, it's just, oh god.
Yeah, then you just
Things get sloppy.
yeah,
What am I
it gets
doing?
sloppy. You're not
Yeah.
setting any records. You're not really competing. Maybe play some doubles or.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, speaking of the buzz, you were kind enough to bring us some Canadian beer. It says it on both sides. What do you know? Thanks for doing that. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you often hunt with your girlfriend, who's also here, just off camera. Hello, Lauren.
Yeah.
You consider her your training partner then?
She probably trains me. She beats
Trains
me
you?
more than I beat her. So
We're gonna have to get you in on some showdowns
yeah.
with the players.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
think we
just
can
played
do
a
that
game.
later.
She crushed me, perfected Irish Elk on a game that she never played on.
Well,
And how did she get into the game? Do you know?
I was like, let's play Buckin.
Let's play this game. Yeah. Fair
well,
enough.
while I have you guys both on the topic of each other, how did you guys meet?
At the campus bar at the university.
Yeah, at the university. All right.
College sweethearts. That's nice. So, what are you most looking forward to at the 2016 World Championship?
The experience, the Gong Show.
The gong. Yeah, he called it the Gong Show earlier. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
It gets a little wild.
Looks like a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's a riot. Now, we've got a speed round coming up. Before we get into the speed round, though, I have one big question for you.
Yeah.
Predictions for the World Championship. Who do you think is going to take home the money? And even more so, do you have any friendly trash talk or not so friendly trash talk to give out?
I don't really know any of the players, so
Well, I mean, keep in mind, Schnitzer did just
he just
offer
lit
up a
me up.
rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't
some
know.
new bad blood
I got some practicing to
between
do.
Baldock and Schnitzer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say, where do you think Canada might fall then? If you don't know too many of the players, where do you guys see yourselves? Top of the pack, middle of the
Well,
pack?
you just explained to me that half the people are, or some of the people are half cut, or maybe more than half cut. So I don't know. I can hold my liquor, so maybe I could compete with those guys.
There
Yeah?
you go. There you go. Yeah.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, should we dive into the lightning round?
I'm always down for the lightning round.
We got to make some graphics or something.
Yeah, with lightning sounds, David.
right.
Can we do that? Now you know how a speed round works,
You ask me questions quickly.
more or less.
That's pretty
He's gonna
much
ask
it.
you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question. Don't think. Just it's a this or that. Just give us what you know. All right.
Yeah. Total reactionary stuff here. Okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Flight or invincibility.
Invincibility.
Canadian bacon or American bacon?
Yeah, as we discussed before, it is just called bacon, and it's strips, and we call what you call Canadian bacon back bacon.
Okay. All right.
But I'm a bacon fan, so I'm
regular
bacon.
We'll call it regular bacon.
The other stuff's basically ham.
That's all right.
Fair enough. Yeah. Beer or liquor.
Beer.
City or country?
I don't understand.
Where do you feel most comfortable? Urban or rural?
Smaller city.
Smaller city.
Well, like
just making up options.
Well, no, but Regina's like 250K,
All right.
and that's the capital of our province. Whereas, like Toronto and Chicago, that's
fine.
too big.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Now, excuse me, Mike led me into this one. I'm not entirely sure you are aware, but ketchup or all dressed?
I hate ketchup chips.
Oh!
I love those.
And so you're a fan of all dressed. Now,
Yeah.
we did a little Googling, and Mike tried to show, can you just, I know this is taking away from the speed round, but what the hell is an all dressed chip?
It just has everything on it. I don't know. It's like salty and smoky. It's kind of like a barbecue chip.
It's like every
salty.
flavor.
Yeah, it's just all dressed. I don't know. And it's got to be ruffled.
Now, and
Ruffles.
it has to be Ruffles. Now,
Yeah.
that's made by Walker's?
Old Dutch.
Old Dutch?
Old Dutch.
Or
Okay.
what's the other rippled one? I don't know.
Who
Never.
knows?
One
They're
of
never plain. They're always like
Okay,
Yeah.
cut funny.
fair
Right
enough. All right, back to it.
Green gun or orange gun?
Depends which one's more accurate. I was always the orange gun guy because I feel like the orange dots kill harder.
Okay. Fair enough.
The
Fair
dots-
enough.
You heard it
We
here
kind of
first.
wore out the pump on our game.
Really?
Yeah, it misfires every once in a while. So
So now you're an orange, you're a
that's
green
like
guy?
the handicap gun now. Like if you want to, like
Yeah.
if you're a little bit better, you play on the orange gun.
I
Okay.
see. All right.
So
All right. Now, cake or pie?
pie,
Jameson or Fireball?
definitely Jameson.
All right.
Burgers or tacos?
Burgers,
Hunting or golf?
hunting.
Yes. Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts?
We don't really have Dunkin' Donuts, but as a Leafs fan, got to go with Tim Hortons.
Okay. Okay. Pizza or Chinese?
Pizza,
All right. Poutine or chili cheese fries?
poutine.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Poutine.
Got to have real cheese curds, none of this shredded mozzarella
Oh, I,
crap.
yeah.
I had real poutine for the first time in Toronto about 2 months ago. Oh,
That's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
It's
Yeah.
got to
so good.
squeak when you bite into the cheese curds.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
nice.
Molson or Budweiser?
Molson.
Molson. All
National
right.
pride.
I think that's going to wrap up our interview with Drew Baldock for everyone at home.
Yeah.
We're going to send it over in just a second and get some showdowns that he's
Yeah.
going to be playing. So if you guys are around, well, if you're not around, I guess, son of a...
Moving right along, Callum, Mike, we're going to throw it back to you, Handsome Devils. Drew, thank you for being with
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having me.
And yeah, we'll see you again in just a second.
It's really hard when you're recording for a live show and you're ending and you're trying to figure out your transitions.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that was. But anyway, nonetheless, guys.
Semi-famous last words, right?
Did you guys change your clothes or?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
While you guys were gone, we ran through a sprinkler. I'm trying to think of something, a good reason. But anyway, Jess, you know what? While you're chatting, let's go into the Buckshot of the week. Jess, can you take that away?
Yeah, throw it up. Let's see what we got. I'm thinking this is he's either about to dough out, he just did dough out, or his girlfriend just caught him playing big buck when he's supposed to be home hanging out with her. I don't know what's going on with this guy's
Definitely
face.
a look of terror.
I was say it's
Yeah,
happened
he
to the
looks
best
terrified.
of us, right?
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll go with the latter. We'll say that he's about to dough out right now. I
Awesome.
think that's the feeling everyone gets when they're about to.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for sharing that buckshot with us, Jess. And speaking of saying thank you and please and all these other polite things, let's talk about our sponsor, Canada.
It's just so nonsensical. Anyway, guys, we could talk about Canada and the 36.28 million friendly folks who live there, but instead we're going to break it down into these 5 facts for you.
Yeah, very, very fun. So starting with number 5, Callum, did you know that the Canadian Mint actually made a $1 million coin?
That's so unnecessary.
Yeah, it is 99.99% real gold. A little bit of fake gold.
The 1%,
Little
0.1%.
bit, tiny bit. And it weighs 220 pounds.
Could you imagine taking that to like 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's legal tender. Yeah.
I wonder how big the coin actually is. Like, is it a big?
I saw a picture. It's really big.
It's an obnoxious coin. Like,
It's very big.
I just need my change here.
It weighs 220 pounds.
Right.
It's
Yeah. Well, I
really
didn't know
big.
if it was like. Yeah. Anyway, number 4. Canada is open, ready, and accepting alien refugees from outer space.
You don't say.
That's right. In 1967, just outside St. Paul in Alberta, they built a landing pad for aliens, for our little green friends up in space.
What do you know? That's nice. Coming in at number 3, Canada invented the ultimate snack. Now, Callum and I are both big fans of this. I'm sure that many of you are if you've had a chance to sample this delicacy. But poutine, that's fries topped with cheese curds and gravy, was invented in Quebec and has been a favorite of drunk people ever since.
And the only big buck fact in this top 5, number 2, Canada contributed to Big Buck a little bit.
A little bit.
That's right. The caribou is actually the Canadian name for a reindeer.
Yeah, much more palatable than hunting reindeer.
And speaking of palatable words, number 1, Mike.
Yes, that's right. Canada, believe it or not, was named by mistake. So Jacques Cartier was the guy who found Canada and sat down for a nice little meeting with the Iroquois folk who lived there, and they said, "Welcome to our Kanata." He thought that meant the country, but that's actually the Iroquois word for village.
As you do.
That's a fun fact.
As you know.
Only Mike would be able to so clearly explain that last fact there.
Well, we
That
actually
was-
we were
that
talking
was-
about it
that was
beforehand, and
perfection.
we're going through the list, and he's going, "Do you want me to do that one?
I'll
Do you want me to do number 1?" I was like, "Yes, please do." But anyway, guys, if you're interested in sponsoring a future episode, just reach out to us at sponsorship@playmechanics.com. You can make Mike and I do some silly things. You can promote a personal or professional workspace, or just send a message to a friend. Really, whatever you want to do, just shoot an email to us. Again, that's sponsorship@playmechanics.com.
Your grandma's birthday's coming up. Don't let her down.
How do you know?
Everyone has a grandma
Everyone
whose
has a
birthday is
grandma
coming
whose
up. Okay?
birthday's coming up.
Ooh, ouch.
I don't know.
What if you don't have a grandma? Man.
Anyway, as we said earlier in the show, Drew and his girlfriend Lauren joined us yesterday for the interview, but we also got them to agree to play a bit of Showdown.
Yeah, that's right. If you were able to join us on stream yesterday, again, twitch.tv/BigBuckHD right here.
Yeah.
We played about an hour and a half of Showdowns.
Lengthy.
Don't worry, though. We're only going to be showing a highlight here, but the entire Showdown will be uploaded to our YouTube within the next few days, so make sure you guys are staying tuned for that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was crazy, especially toward the end, because we had a true battle of the Titans. Of course, Drew Baldock, Eric Schnitzer, Philip Beaupre, and the king of ranked play himself, Ryan Hodgson, showed up for, I gotta say, it was the showdown of the century. I don't know, how do you make it more difficult than
It was
that?
fully stacked, 100%.
Yeah, Drew was a little bit intimidated. It was totally epic. So without further ado, David, will you roll the thing?
All right,
let's search for our last showdown match of the day, guys. Everyone at home, last chance. 65 seconds to join up with us, and if you want to swipe your card one last time, just to make sure you are logged in and ready to go.
Oh, that was quick.
Philip Beaupre, Eric Schnitzer, Ryan Hosden, can you join us and get in on the match? Yeah, this is going to be huge. Hey, and we've got Ryan Hosden joining us as player 4.
That's a slaughter.
You got this.
So Ryan Hosden, player 4, actually runs a league which Philip B, player 2, plays in. Eric Schnitzer's down in Tampa, Florida, obviously.
How do they do that? So they just.
How do they do what? How do they do a league?
How do they do a league?
Oh, so Ryan has a weekly tournament set up in his game, and they go in, play up scores. Ryan works out the scores, and they structure a seeding placement. They play for X amount of weeks, and I think actually in about a week, Ryan Hosden on the 16th is having his regionals tournament. And it's basically everyone who competes in the area and the league gets to go out and do a big tourney for prizes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Ryan does really, really good work. His wife Kylie and him own. I think they own Furies, but they hugely passionate hunters who have done like incredible work for the community. Like the New Hampshire crowd went from I don't even know how many players to having a very good core group.
Need more of those.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got a handful of wardens who are doing their thing in their own cities and making things happen. Greg Hendricks down southwest. We've got Andrew Moskowitz out in California. Samantha Inchari, who came in earlier and was talking, and Eric Schnitzer actually down in Tampa. But yeah, Ryan Hosden definitely sets an example for everybody else. And this is going to be a good game. I'm warning you. These are all World Championship players. Philip Beaupre has made me look stupid many a time.
%100% accuracy.
Yeah,
Worse than that level.
I warned you. I did warn you. I'm glad you're playing and it's not me. Let's put it that way.
Okay, let him run. Even worse than that guy through the butt.
Straight in one end, out the other. You thought about it. All right, nice
Missed the
shooting.
bird. Use some Pilsner power.
Yes. Oh. Not.
So close.
I was about to say.
One, two of them.
Three-way tie, and then you got Ryan. 920 on the last one?
Yeah.
Must know
Didn't let him run.
must know how to let him run away.
That one started in the back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Comes forward, so he must have.
So. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll
a
see
view.
it on the replay.
Oh, there's that bird. I never saw that bird.
I think it's the same bird that's
What?
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 That was
All
My
right, well,
replay was broken.
Well, he rigged it.
No one gives away their secret.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh, that hurt me.
I really thought he was dead after 2, and I was like, no, why didn't he die?
Oh, and we've got 3. The dangerous trophy one too.
Oh, this is bad.
This is bad.
I'm so anxious right now. I'm genuinely like. Give me-
Oh, someone else.
Wow.
Dodo, too.
Also,
Nearly 3,000. Yeah.
789.
I don't know where that line comes from, but
He does.
he does.
He does. That's the best way to put that one.
Wow.
So you got a lot of ground to come up with?
Yeah. don't feel like he's going to dough out ever, though.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of the times you can kind of be like, oh, maybe he'll do out and I'll have a good round.
He double tap that.
Now
Oh, man, he shot the gap on that, too.
Where's this?
Always shoot the gap.
Wow.
3 in the face.
Yeah.
Well
Right
done,
there.
Ryan Hodgson. Well done.
Reasons like this is why he's sitting on top of the leaderboard for like 8 months in a row,
Yeah.
or 8 weeks in a row.
This isn't the guy who won it last year, though. Right?
No, I think he came in 4th. Put out a hell of a
level?
showing, but just short. Oh!
Stupid bats. We just called it the bird level because if you time it just right, it'll kill all the, like if you double tap every time, it'll hit the bird and then one
And
shot.
one into
hit the
the-
bird, one shot.
Ooh, wow. So,
This is a wash.
It's not looking good.
Hey, Federico. How's it going, man? It's been a minute since we've talked to you last. That's, it's just holding them up there. It's just
Yeah.
rubbing it in you.
It's like taunting. Has he lost the level yet? Nope.
Yeah, I don't think so. You got a huge amount of points on that last one, too,
Oh, we
so
just
that's...
smoked him before.
For the bird.
Wow.
Wait. He knows to wait.
Shooting, Ryan.
Good job.
We're going to do all or
Oh.
nothing. All or nothing on the other ship.
Yeah.
Winner of this one
So-
takes
Drew's
all.
least favorite.
My least favorite.
Winner, yeah, man. It is what it is. I didn't pick it.
But I've never played on a game that you can maybe keep up with. I don't know.
Winner of this takes all.
I'm not
One
sure it was a
shot.
shot, though. It might have been a misfire.
No,
It was
not
a
one
shot.
shot.
98% accuracy. That sucks. Is that one shot you missed?
One
Literally
shot.
just one?
Yeah.
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 Ugh.
Double
That would have
per-
been nice because
Oh.
finishing that is hard for me on our game. So to DP it would have been awesome.
Well, I mean, on the plus side. Well, you beat Schnitzer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy doesn't
But-
seem as good in comparison to those guys now.
Was it?
Oh.
Wow, shots fired at
I said
Schnitzer.
in comparison.
Just in case you guys didn't hear that at home, I quote, that guy doesn't seem as good anymore compared to those guys. And you know what, with those potentially famous last words, I would just like to extend our sincerest thank you to Drew and Lauren for coming out and checking out the Play Mechanics studio.
That was very cool, yeah.
Yeah, gave him a tour, got to play some showdowns, did the interview. And again, as I said earlier, guys, if any players find themselves in Chicago at any point throughout the year, give us a shout. We'd love to show you guys around, have you out here, play some big buck together.
Yeah.
Now, next week,
Yeah.
I think we're doing a Wheel of Tomfoolery tournament.
That's right. That is the plan, Callum. And so be sure that in the time between now and then, you guys submit your suggestions for the newly customized Wheel of Tomfoolery using hashtag MyWOTF. That's MyWOTF.
My what?
On your favorite social media. Speaking of which, we've got some lovely ones right down here below us. Make sure to stop by each of those, give us a favorite, a like, a subscribe, if it's possible. We would certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? We appreciate it so much every time you guys come out and check out the show. So thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week, 7 p.m. Central Standard on Thursday, right here, twitch.tv/BigBuckHD. As always, I'm Callum.
Mike.
I'm David.
I'm Jess.
And we're the cast and crew of Buckin' Around. You guys have a good night.
Sleep tight.
Adios, amigos.